Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to Love Morning. This is a super special edition featuring Lisa.
Johnston.
And why don't we try to sing a little song?
If you're brave, you might sing along.
And if you look down, you'll see that we're both wearing thongs. And that's how we sing the morning song.
Not true, but cute.
Good morning. Welcome to Love Morning on location in Colorado.
Grand Lake, specifically. Rocky Mountain National Park. Beautiful, beautiful summertime here in Colorado.
It is quite beautiful, and the weather has been perfect.
72 degrees.
Not too hot, not too cold. Just right. I was going to say Cinderella, but not Cinderella.
Goldilocks.
Cinderella would be like, I should have brought hiking shoes. These glass slippers are a poor choice. So we've been having this gorgeous home that I spoke about a little bit yesterday with, some questionable judgments on my part, but it was an opportunity for me to look at my judgments. But it's really beautiful, and there's room for Lisa's whole family. It's just been awesome to get to spend a bunch of quality time with a family that I don't get to see as often. Neither of us get to see,
Mm-hmm.
but you've had years of knowing them, and they're new to me. Newer.
They really like him, too.
I am constantly holding my gut in. I'm trying to be on my best behavior. Although last night we did show all the adults the highlight clips from the Hard in the 80s podcast, and it gets a little racy.
Plays the edge. But they were all laughing.
Well, the night before we watched some
Pretty dirty
Robin Williams comedy
Williams.
that was, it's you probably had this experience at some point when you're watching a movie with a parent or an elder,
and a sex scene comes on,
and you're like, this is how silly this is. This is dumb. Who likes this? What did we do yesterday? We went to the lodge that you used to work in your summers.
It's true.
So, I gotta change my view here. Good morning, Bill. Hello to you in Cleveland. Good morning, Juan. So we went to the place that Lisa worked in her summers, and do you want to explain what
Sure.
it's like?
Yeah, I had pretty idyllic college summers where I came to this resort in Grand Lake called the Grand Lake Lodge. And it's like Dirty Dancing is the best way I could describe it. There's a front-facing view of the restaurant and the cabins where guests come, and it's a hospitality industry. Present your best self, make everybody happy. And then behind the scenes are these cabins where all the employees live that are ramshackle party spaces where every night we hung out and listened to music and all the things. And so it brought back a lot of memories to go back there. I had a lot of nostalgia for those sweet moments of youth. And it was nice that the lodge hasn't changed that much. It's changed ownership and new management, but it's still it's a really beautiful kind of sacred space for me on land that I really value.
And what was the name of the sexy Swayze dance teacher that you were fling with when you were there?
Oh, there was a different one every summer.
Oh. So we got to visit there, and it was nice because I've heard stories about that from your past. And that's kind of been one of the goals and cool parts about this trip is that this place is a part of your history.
Mm-hmm. And I got to show John the house that I lived in Denver when we arrived. I took him to the house that I bought 20 years ago, and got to just take a look at that little chapter and thank my past life for bringing me here.
Yeah, that's been a neat part of this trip is filling in some of the parts of your past that are words and ideas, but then to see them and to take shape into physical places. Yeah.
Who else is here?
What are you grateful for? Bill says, today I'm grateful for sunshine, the air I breathe, and air conditioning. I'm with you. Although the temperature is perfect here, but right before we left San Diego, we had our AC on a little bit, and it was sure nice to know that that's an option. And actually, while we're gone, the AC is being repaired. So I'm grateful for AC repairs and attentive property management. Good morning, Chris. Chris says, grateful to see you two together today. Thanks, Chris. Me too.
Chris.
Definitely the highlight of this trip is time with Lisa. And grateful for some quality time with niece and nephews yesterday.
They're hilarious.
Yes.
They're so funny. I can't even believe how creative and hilarious my 10-year-old nephew and 13-year-old niece are. What did Addie say last night when we were going around and John did questions for us of what actor would play us in a movie? My 13-year-old Caucasian niece said Kevin Mack. Is that right? No.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart.
Should play her in the movie adaptation of her life. It was hilarious. Good morning, Daniel. Daniel says, I have been in deep meditation and was reflecting on our brief conversation at Utopia in 2016. Wish the universe had more of you. You guys represent what the world desperately needs. Love you guys.
That's so nice. Wow, thanks.
I'm feeling that and appreciating you and appreciating all of us that are taking time for introspection and meditation and asking who do we want to be in the world and being that. So thank you.
I just read it. For those of you who know, Abraham Hicks has been an influential kind of spiritual teacher in my life, and I get the daily quote from Abraham Hicks, and today is, the best thing you could ever do for anybody else is to be happy. And the worst thing you could ever do for anybody else is to be unhappy and then demand that they try to make you happy because they can't. And yeah, I just really am feeling how, I think the last sentence of the quote was, if your dominant intent is to be who you really are, and I think gratitude is one of the main ways that we get to do that, you cannot make anybody else unhappy. You can't cause real harm if your dominant, genuine intent is to be who you really are and to come into alignment with who you are. So I'm grateful for this practice. I'm grateful for your commitment to this community and this practice and your ripples.
And it's interesting that I really like that idea of the best thing you can do is be happy, because even on this trip, while we're having so much beautiful nature and family and so little responsibility, the news is still happening, the world is still happening, and we're touching base with what's happening in the world, and it can be difficult to allow for moments of happiness or cultivate moments of happiness, and sometimes it even feels irresponsible. And we were talking a little bit about this morning broadcast, and your mom asked me about, is it harder to avoid being political because you're broadcasting every day? And it made me think that, it's almost like part of this practice is giving ourselves permission to be happy, to be grateful, to let go of the responsibility of being in worry and upset.
Yeah, I don't even feel like worry, or I don't want to associate worry with responsibility. I don't feel like it is responsible to worry because I don't see value to worry. I feel like there's healthy concern, and compassion. But yeah, I really feel like honestly, that the practice of alignment with gratitude is what connects us to our sphere of influence, which is the only place that we have power.
And so Reese saw this quote that I can't remember I don't know. I researched, I couldn't find who said it initially, but it was, no amount of worry can change the future. No amount of regret can change the past. But the tiniest bit of gratitude can change the present moment.
And then that becomes the momentum that takes you into the future.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
Good morning, Angela. Angela says, grateful to catch your beautiful faces this morning. I love the love you guys exude. Along that line, I'm so grateful for my partner and our calm, sweet starts to the mornings these days.
Nice.
I feel that. Thank you for sharing. And then Juan says, Lisa is a true wise person in the area of happiness. The force is strong with this young one.
Thanks for calling me young.
What was the joke that your nephew said that, what did Darth Vader say when he was done with his relationship? Divorce is with you.
Oh, may divorce be with you.
Yeah. Any more gratitudes anybody want to share before we head off into the day? We had a plan, but kind of fell through, so we're looking into ways to make the most of this day. Maybe go for a hike, or there's thoughts of throwing Lisa in the water. No, that's not what you said. You said kayaking. Kayaking. Good morning, Steve. We went to a grateful for the pizza parlor we went to last night, the place that Lisa said she used to go to, as a reckless youth. And
Still so good.
And it had posters on the wall of Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Not a shout out to Steve Olson, because we went to high school right next to Claremont High, which is where Fast Times was written about. And then they also had a poster for Hot Dog the Movie, which is the 80s boob film that was the inspiration for the Hard on the 80s podcast. Which we haven't been able to do yet because it's hard to find it, but shout out to Gratuitous Boobs. Hello, High Noon Shred. Great to see you. Hope you are feeling alive on your growth journey. Any last gratitudes anybody want to share before we head on the day? I'm grateful for this gathering. Considering how beautiful this week is, I've had some struggling moments and trouble getting my footing and trouble getting tight in my body and at times, and I think it's a lot of current eventy stuff and poor eating and just like a barrage of attacks from Lisa. Sorry, I started. I'm like, I should just let this be a nice thing to say. Why should I ruin it? Because I can't help it. I'm grateful for this practice, because even when the world is so beautiful everywhere I look, my mind still needs the practice. Yeah. Heinen says, gratitude for being here now. Well, with that, wherever you are, give yourself, the body you're in or the body you're with, a big squeeze. Let's send out that squeeze to one another, feeling ourselves in this one embrace outside of the physical and this land of intention. And take a deep breath in and squeeze one another. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all of us here, thanks for being here for this Hug Nation Love Morning and Gratitude practice. Sending you out lots of love and gratitude and appreciation. Have a beautiful day. Heinen is grateful for his meltdown because it gave me insight into what I need to see. Bravo.